Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. As you know, coming to you raw and uncut. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. All right, SmackDown tonight. As I keep saying every week, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're trying to do. Tonight's show, I guess you could say that it was bad. I'm not understanding none of the matches because nothing leads up to anything. They're just putting some of these matches just together just to have a show. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do this, match by match, promo by promo. Okay, the show starts off with Cody Rhodes, actually Cody and Jimmy, and then Jimmy thanking Cody for coming out, I guess more or less sticking up for Jacob Fatu. So Jimmy's, thanking Cody for that. And then Cody, asks Jimmy, like, hey, look, what's going on between, you and him and Jay, and if Jay and him are good and for him to, try to get things, patched up to things to get better um for for them and stuff, get their relationship back together. And then Cody starts, cutting his little thing, talking about how he, and Drew, their situation and how he hit Drew in the head with the belt and stuff last week and stuff, and then just going on and everything and stuff like that. Really not saying too much of anything, it's just crazy because we already know that they're gonna have this match for them, at Saturday Night Main Event, and then Drew comes out, telling the crowd, why they cheering Cody. Cody's, done all these things and stuff like that, and he had all the proof, and stuff like that, and calling Cody, corporate Cody, and everything is run by him, and how he got screwed and stuff like, stuff like that. So, Drew's doing more or less what he's always done before, you know, um, and starts complaining. And then as Drew starts to leave the ring, he gets jumped by Jimmy Uso. So Jimmy attacks Drew and stuff. They're fighting, and everything, and they're going on and on and on and on and on and stuff. So they get them all separated and stuff. And then out comes the MFTs, with Solo Sokoa. And they're going against Shinsuke Nakamura and Ray Fenix. Now, I don't understand this match. I don't understand how this match got made or even why they even having the match because, I mean, yes, MFT did attack them last week and stuff, but you know, um, where's the storyline? No storyline and stuff. So, but anyway, the match for it went back and forth. You got a bunch of jobbers doing their thing, and you know, it is what it is. Got Solo Sikoa. He comes in and tries, interferes. Um, and then Talatunga grabs Ray Phoenix and slams him on the side of the ring. And Tamatunga, you know, um, hits Shinsuke. I'm sorry, yeah, hits Shinsuke with with the cutthroat. He got a cutthroat to Ray Phoenix and everything, and they pinned Ray Phoenix. Shinsuke was knocked up out of the ring and stuff. So the MFTs doing their thing, just coming in, just causing chaos and stuff like that for a bunch of jobbers and everything. Then you got Jimmy, talking to Nick Aldis, about wanting something done with Drew McIntyre and stuff like that, and that he didn't just want a regular match, he wanted a match. So they get at the end of the show a DQ, no DQ match and stuff. And then we get Tiffany Stratton against Kiana James. Uh, the match the match was okay. It wasn't all that great. It was good. It was back and forth, and I know I keep saying it wasn't all that great, good, but it was what it was to be expected. You know, I mean, there's no way that Kiana James is going to take the title of Tiffany Stratton. You know, there's what beef do they have? Where's their beef at? It just doesn't make any sense. Is what I'm trying to say and stuff. And so we know at the end, Tiffany hits Kiana James with the prettiest moonsaw and gets the win. And then Julia, she attacks Tiffany, and everything starts beating Tiffany down. And then out comes Jade. Welcome back, Jade. Jade Cargill comes down the ring. She helps, you know, um, Tiffany Stratton out and everything. And once they clear the ring, Jade holds Tiffany's hands up and everything. Congratulates her, hands her belt back, goes to leave the ring, doesn't, comes back and clotheslines Tiffany Stratton, and then goes to beat the living tar out of her. She dog walked Tiffany Stratton. So we know this match is going to be set up for something. I believe, yeah, and I like the turn heel. I like the turn. Keep Jade as a heel. She's a better heel than she is a face. So yeah, so she beats the tar out of Tiffany Stratton and stuff, which is good. And then she has a little after that. They have a little backstage with her, and she's with Jade and Kathy Kelly, and Jade is saying, "Look, she's the power. She's gonna bring the power and everything." And it starts with getting the world's championship, and that's beating Tiffany Stratton for it. So we'll see how that match goes down the road. Um, it could be set for Saturday Night Main Event. Um, it could be set for War Games. But anyway, okay. So then we go with the Ilya Dragunov versus Alister Black. Now with Alister Black coming out with Zelina Vega, I swear this is so much more like Karrion Cross and Scarlett. I mean, it's just the same thing, just two different people, but the same thing. Why? I don't know. I mean, I think I don't understand it. They just got rid of one thing and created the same thing with two different people. It's just insane. But the match, anyway, it was kind of a little bit brutal. It was good and stuff. It was a little, it was back and forth, back and forth. We had some interference with, Selena Vega and stuff, and then she gets, ejected from outside, from the ring by the referee, and then from a little distraction from Damian Priest as in the match. So Alistair Black took his mind off the match and everything, with Selena being barred from ringside, and then Damian Priest coming out, and as he focuses back in, then it hits him with a headbutt and puts him down and defeats Alistair Black and retains, the title, U.S. title and stuff. And then Damian Priest comes in and he attacks Alistair Black and he destroys him. Selena tries to help and everything, but Tenova prevails. So they get that all broken up. So we know that's going to be somewhere down the road. It's the same old, same old. They just went through all the stuff, Alistair Black and Damian Priest, and every time Alistair Black destroys Damian Priest, it was cool, because Damian Priest had this burn on the side of his face, from a few weeks ago when Alistair Black, threw the fire in his face and stuff. So that's where that's going, and that's how that came across, and stuff like that. And then we have Camilo Hayes talking about um, what happened with him and in the Miz. So that's going to be a little something. I guess Camelo Hayes is going to try to get back. I think Camelo Hayes should be actually focus. They should have him focusing more on getting the title than having a feud with the Miz. Camelo was giving Miz his props for helping him, and everything like that. But he did say the Miz crossed the line. And the Miz is saying that Camelo crossed the line, so we know we're going to get that feud with them two. And then Kit Wilson comes out to try to say something to Carmelo Hayes, and tries, puts his mouth and puts his foot in his mouth. And so now he has a match with Carmelo Hayes next week on SmackDown. All right, and then we get the match with Drew McIntyre and Jimmy Uso. This match was, it was an okay match. Um, it was back and forth and stuff. At least we did get a table, but it came in towards the end of the match and stuff. When you have DQ matches, man, you're supposed to, let them things go out of control and let stuff happen in the match, but it just seemed like they just don't do them like they used to back in the day and stuff, but anyway, we end up with Drew, giving Jimmy Uso a Claymore to defeat him, and after that, Jimmy puts before Jimmy puts Drew through the table. And then I don't understand how Drew was able to get back up from that, and to Claymore Jimmy and win the match. It was crazy. It was retarded. And I'm like, man. And then Cody comes out and stuff. And then Cody and Drew get into it and stuff. And then from there, Drew ends up Claymore and Cody Rhodes and stuff. So, this match was all over the place. It's crazy. It's the same old, same old. We got Drew McIntyre and Cody going at it. Now we got Drew McIntyre and Jimmy Uso, going at it. And it just doesn't make any sense. Why? Why? What's going on? I think AI has got everything all messed up. But anyway, that was it. That was it for SmackDown. And with SmackDown, man, I don't even know what to say. It's kind of hard watching the same thing over and over, and the shows are actually getting, you know, not as good as they used to be. So I'm hoping that Triple H with this AI thing, get it together, get the shows together, make more meaningful matches. Pretty soon, WrestleMania is going to be amongst us, and we're not even looking good for anything being set up for it. So, but anyway, with that, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Please subscribe. Thank you. Please subscribe. All right. Thank you for watching. God bless. Deuces. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.